to another biology presentation. So in this presentation, we are answering a question that came in biology paper 2 for 2011. So this is a question that was brought in section B, specifically on question 6. So here we had the question A and B. So under question A, we have Roman numeral 1 and Roman numeral 2. So we are going to start with Roman numeral 1. Define the term growth. So this question was just carrying 1 mark. So growth can be defined in many different ways, okay? You can say growth is the permanent increase in size, number of cells, and complexity of an organism. Or you can define growth as the permanent and irreversible increase in size of an organism as a result of an increase in the total number of cells. So we have different definitions. So we have said you can define growth as the permanent and the irreversible increase in size of an organism as a result of an increase in the total number of cells. So this was the answer to our question 1, and you score your 1 mark. So I now move on to our second question. So here we come to question A, Roman numeral 2. The question reads, describe the process of growth in plants from a seed to a seedling. So this question, they want us to explain or to describe the process of growth in plants from a seed to a seedling. So this question was carrying 5 marks. So remember, these are essay questions. You need to write your answer in the essay form, okay? That's how you are going to score the mark. So we all know that the growth of a seedling from a seed embryo, we call this as the germination. So what will happen is that once in the soil, when you put a seed into the soil, a seed is going to absorb water, okay, and is going to begin to swell up. So this will only happen if the conditions are favorable for germination to take place, okay? So when that happens, you find that the radicle will start growing and it will burst through the seed coat, okay? So as the radicle grows down the soil, you find that the little roots, they are also going to grow out from the side to help it anchor firmly in the seed. Then the root hair cells, okay? Then the root hair cells, they are also going to grow from the main, and the little roots, they are going to facilitate the water absorption. So when these root hair cells grows, they are going to help also in the absorption of water and mineral source from the soil. So when this happens, this is going to be followed by the growth of the radicle, okay? From the growth of the radicle is the growth of the of the embryo of the stem. So when this embryo of the stem grows up, this one will grow up just above the radicle, okay? Then the hypocote is going to elongate and it's going to anchor upwards through the soil, pulling the cotyledons up above the soil. It straightens and the leaves of the pramule will open outward while the shoot continues growing. So we can write our answer, okay, in essay form just like I've said. So here we are answering our question A12. We can write our answer as the growth of a seedling from a seed embryo is referred to as the germination. So once in the soil, a seed will absorb water and begin to swell up. When conditions are favorable for germination, the radicle will start growing and burst through the seed coat. As the radicle grows down the soil, lateral roots grow out from the side to help it anchor firmly in the soil. Root hair cells also grow from the main and lateral roots to facilitate water absorption. Followed by the growth of the radicle is the growth of the embryo stem, which we call the hypocote. So this one will just grow above the radicle. So the hypocote elongates and anchors upwards through the soil, pulling the cotyledons up above the soil. It straightens and the leaves of the pramule open outward while the shoot continues growing in open air. So this is how we can describe the process of growth in plants from a seed to a seedling, and that is when you are going to score the 5 marks. So we now move on to our next question, which is our question B. The question reads, outline the life cycle of a housefly. So the housefly, we need to outline the life cycle of a housefly, and this question was carrying 6 marks. Okay, so from there we need to know something when it comes to the life cycle of a housefly. So we know that we are going to have 4 stages. Okay, so in short, we are saying the entire life cycle of the housefly, this can be completed in 4 different stages. So during the first stage, you are going to have the female housefly, which is going to lay clusters of tiny white eggs in dark. Then in the place that is dark, it should be moist and should have organic matter such as the decaying food, manure, or garbage. Then from there, we are going to have the larva stage where we have the maggots. So the eggs now, they are going to hatch into small white legless larvae that we call the maggots. Then they will feed on the organic matter and they will grow rapidly. Then from there, we are going to have the pupa stage. So during this pupa stage is where we find that the maggots, they are going to form a hard brown pupa case and it's going to enter a resting stage. So inside the pupa now, the maggots, they are going to undergo significant changes, transforming into an adult fly. Now, in the last stage, the adult fly is going to emerge from the pupa case, ready to mate and lay eggs, starting the cycle, a new one. So, this is what we call metamorphosis. Okay, so we are simply saying a housefly normally goes this what we call metamorphosis. So metamorphosis is just a biological process where an animal physically develop after birth or hatching, involving the conscious and relatively abrupt change in the animal's body structure through the cell growth and the cell differentiation. So we understand that this type of metamorphosis where we have 4 stages is what we call complete metamorphosis, because we have the egg, the larva, the pupa, and the adult stage. And examples of such organisms that undergo this type of complete metamorphosis, we have moths, we also have flies, we have beetles, we also have butterflies. Okay, so now how can we outline the life cycle of a housefly, which was carrying 6 marks? Okay, so remember, we need to write our answer in essay form. So we can start by writing a housefly undergoes complete metamorphosis during its cycle. So this type of growth and development involves the egg hatching into larva, larva changing into pupa, and eventually into adults. In houseflies, the female adult lays eggs in rolling material after mating. The eggs hatch into larva 8 to 24 hours, nutrients, and move uh, 8 to 24 hours after being laid. So the larva now, they will feed on rotting materials by sucking the nutrients and move using the pads on the lower side of their bodies. Now after 4 to 5 days, you find that the larva will develop into immobile pupa which do not feed. So many metabolisms, they occur inside the pupa and the adult takes shape within the pupa case. So 3 to 4 days later, the adult fly breaks out of the pupa case. It takes 14 days to reach sexual maturity and the cycle starts all over again. So we can write now our answer. We can write our answer in essay form, and we are going to write to say housefly undergo complete metamorphosis during its cycle. This type of growth and development involves the eggs hatching into larva, larva changing into pupa, and eventually into adults. In houseflies, the female adult lays eggs in rolling material after mating. The eggs hatch into larva 8 to 24 hours after being laid. Larvae feed on the rotting material by sucking the nutrients and move using pads on the lower side of their bodies. After 4 to 5 days, larvae develop into immobile pupa which do not feed. Many metabolisms occur inside the pupa and the adult takes shape within the pupa case. So 3 to 4 days later, the adult fly breaks out of the pupa case. It takes 14 days to reach sexual maturity and the cycle starts all over again. So this is how we can write our answer now in essay form, and you are going to score your 6 marks. So we've now come to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much, everybody, for having time to view this content. This has been your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. Bye bye.